Today I'm gonna show you how to find research positions in the US which will increase your chances of finding a research job and matching into residency in the US. If you're asking how do you know about research positions? Well, because I did 3 years of research, the first year at the Mayo Clinic, which is the #1 hospital in the world, and 2 years of research at MD Anderson Cancer Center, which is the #1 cancer center in the US and in the world. And now let's get started. So we will begin our search by looking for a website called Doximity. And the reason why I'm looking at Doximity is because it will provide us with a list of the residency programs in the US. So the first step, in my opinion, to search for a research position is to search for the residency programs from which you can get the names of the faculty and then assess whether these would be good mentors for your research position. There are also other websites that can provide you with a list of the residency programs in the US, such as the ACGME list, the ERAS itself when you apply to residency, FRIDA. But what I like about Doximity is that it gives you ranking of this program, and although that ranking is not 100% accurate, it can give you an idea about the most prestigious institutions. So when you're looking for positions, you look for these institutions first. So let's see how we can get the list of programs from Doximity. I'm actually gonna type internal medicine residency program, assuming that you're searching for an internal medicine position. We're gonna go here to the residency navigator, and we're gonna select the specialty that we wanna apply into. So in our case, we said we're gonna pick internal medicine, and I'm gonna pick sort by reputation. If you don't have an account with Doximity, you'll only see the top 10 programs. So if you can create an account, you'll see the full list, and you need to pick an institution to start with. You can send emails to multiple institutions, multiple mentors, but let's take the University of Michigan as our first example. So I'm gonna click on the University of Michigan, and if you click here, you'll be taken to the website of the internal medicine program of the University of Michigan. So what do you look for on the website? There are two main things to look at. First, the research positions themselves. So you go to the research tab and look for research positions, or you target mentors through emails. Let's start with the second way, which is targeting mentors directly. So if you look on the residency program page here, you can see that this physician here, Dr. Vale, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, is the program director. And a huge part of being successful in research is choosing the right mentor. And that's what we explain in our lengthy webinar on how to find research positions in the US. And I'll leave the link for that in the description below. Because choosing a mentor is the most important part of this whole process. It's not actually finding the position, it's choosing the right mentor that will guide you through this process. And there are multiple factors that go into the decision of who is a good mentor for me, who would not be fit for me to achieve my goal of matching into residency and achieve my research goals. So we'll talk a little bit about that here, but this is a very lengthy discussion that we discuss in detail in our webinar on how to find research positions in the US. So let's start with Dr. Vale here. One thing I always recommend is reading about the physician that you're emailing. Don't just send cold emails without knowing what they do, if your interests align with them. So if we look here at Dr. Vale profile, we can see that the specialty is GI. So are you someone who's interested in GI? Is that something you want to do after your internal medicine residency? If the answer is yes, Dr. Vale might be a good fit for you. There are other factors that play a role in identifying whether this person is good fit for you, which is their rank within the institution. So we can see here that Dr. Vale is a professor, their position, which is he's a program director, the position within the society, how involved is Dr. Vale within the GI society, within the internal medicine society, because that will be very important when you're building your connections when you work with this physician. Another extremely important factor, in my opinion, is probably the most important, is the publications, or how active is Dr. Vale in research, because this is what you're applying for, a research position. So one thing I wanted to mention before we go to assessing the publication is looking at their training. You might be someone who graduated from the University of Puerto Rico. So if you have that connection, you might be able to get that position easier compared to someone who might not have that connection. Let's say you trained in India in a particular university and you see that physician trained there, you can mention that in your email. Or if they did their residency in your home country and then came to the US. So all these factors play a role in that. Research, sometimes you would see big paragraphs under the research in which the profile explains the details of what the physician does in research. Here we can see acid peptic disorders, medical education, and patient safety. So how can you assess a physician's publications? So the way to do that is to go to PubMed. PubMed is the website in which you can find all the publications, and we can copy paste the name of this physician here and search in PubMed. And you can see the one here in bolded is the name of the physician we're searching. And you need to identify physicians who have a decent number of senior author papers. And this is a very important factor that we discuss in detail in our webinar on how to find research positions, because just having a paper with middle authorships might not be as important as senior author or last author. So that is very important factor to consider. And the number of papers that someone needs to have also varies by specialty, by the position that they have, by the years. You might someone who was very active years ago, but now they're not as active. So all these details are extremely important, and we discuss them in detail in our webinar on how to find research positions. So let's take a random paper here. Let's take this one, for example. When perception is reality, resident perception of faculty gender parity in a university-based internal medicine residency program. So this paper falls under the education umbrella. You can go have a look here at the abstract, because these papers might be the way that you phrase or individualize the email that you send to that physician. So you need to know who they are, what they do. So you identify whether this person would be good fit for your interest in research, and you express that interest through the email so they know that you read about them, you know something about them. You're not just sending the same template to everyone. So how can we find the emails of these physicians? You click on expand here and you find the email. However, this time in this paper, this physician here or this author provided their emails, not Dr. Valle. So we need to find other papers in which Dr. Valle is the corresponding author and they provided their email. So since this paper only has one author, so probably the author is the corresponding author. So we'll probably find Dr. Valle's email. So if you click on expand here, you can see Dr. Valle's email. So if you want to send them an email, here is the email. You can click here as well on the actual paper, because sometimes it doesn't show through PubMed. So you go to the actual paper and you can see a small envelope near the corresponding author. You can see it here. And if you click on this envelope, it will open the email with the physician's email in there. So now you found the email, you need to write the email, and we provide in our course on how to find research positions a detailed template that you can use when emailing physicians, and which portions you need to change based on your situation, because there are some words that you need to mention in the email to increase your chance of matching. Because I always get those students who tell me, I've been sending over 100 emails and I haven't gotten a single response. Well, because there are big mistakes or big things that are mentioned in the email that should not be mentioned, and vice versa. There are things that need to be mentioned in those emails that are not mentioned. So we help you with that. We help edit the email. We help provide you with templates for the email. And of course, you need to attach your CV as well. Your CV needs to be very well structured, providing the strength of you as an applicant, mainly focusing on research. And we have multiple courses to teach you research if you don't have research experience. Don't say, oh, I don't have any single research experience. We provide you with that. We provide you with the courses, but you need to spend time and effort to learn about research so you become a competitive candidate. There are also other things that you should keep in mind when looking for these positions, which is which title should you pursue? Should you pursue a paid or unpaid position? Clinical versus basic science? What time of the day? Which days should you be sending these emails? How to respond when you get the response? If somebody tells you, yes, we're interested in having you, come on and join our lab. How should you respond to that? Probably they're going to ask you for an interview. How do you interview? What questions do you ask them during their interview? All these things will be discussed in detail in our course on how to find research positions. So what we've been discussing so far is finding physicians who align with your research interests and emailing them. Now I'm going to show you how to apply for open positions in research and how to find them. So now we go back to the University of Michigan website, and I'm going to click here, search for research, and you can see the different places that highlight research. Let's click on this one. It's very hard actually to find the research positions through the website sometimes. Some websites are very easy to navigate the research positions open. Sometimes it's hard, and sometimes it's not even on the website. So here you can see basic science and translational research, clinical research. Let's click on this one, for example. And we can see the vice chair of basic and science research. So you can either email this physician directly. Sometimes they have, oh, these are the open positions for researchers to apply to. Sometimes you can click, let's say, internal medicine University of Michigan research positions, and you might find something. Again, it's not easy to find these positions if you're looking for the position without directly targeting the faculty or the attendings. So here you might find something: Vice Chair of Research Innovation, Chief Resident. No, that doesn't apply to what we're looking for. Research Assistant, Sleep Studies. This might be helpful, but again, there are a lot of positions. You need to identify the position that will help you to match and help you achieve your research goals. I'm going to show you a position that I know of because I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen people who did the research position there, and I think it's a great research opportunity. I'll show you how the research position website looks like when it exists, because it doesn't always exist like that. So let's go to Trauma MGH Research Fellowship, and this is a popular research program at MGH, Massachusetts General Hospital, which is one of the Harvard programs. So if we go here to this International Research Fellowship, you'll see here a website with criteria on the overview of this program, what are the requirements, how to apply, and important dates and deadlines for this position. Because we also discussed that in our course, when should you apply for the research positions? What are the requirements? It's kind of vague for most research positions, but some programs like this one, they have detailed information about that, and they have a selection committee. So if you send your application and you fit the requirements, you might be able to get that opportunity. And as I said, all this information is covered in detail in our live research webinar on how to find research positions. So we answer all your questions, we go in depth into everything we talked about, and we provide you with templates on how to write the emails, how to write the CVs, and again, answer any questions you have about research. If you find any value in this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you get notified whenever I post future videos on my YouTube channel. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and see you in future videos.